Let's talk about a lens that I've been obsessed with for years, the Sigma 16mm f1.4. If you're looking to upgrade from your kit lens and get that pro level quality without breaking the bank, this might be the perfect pick, especially for my Sony ZV-E10 and Canon M50 users. Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of Quality Time, where I spill the tea on my favorite tech to help you level up your life. Today we're talking all about the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. It is arguably one of the most popular lenses amongst vloggers, YouTubers, and content creators. For good reason. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why it's worth all the hype. Let's get into it. So here it is again, the Sigma 16mm 1.f lens. You can probably tell from the video that she is pretty sturdy and she's got a good amount of weight to her. Very well built. Let's take a look at it compared to the Sony ZV-E10 kit lens and the Canon M50 kit lens. These kit lenses, they feel really plastic, kind of fragile, and to be frank, just a little bit cheap. They feel a little cheap, okay? Which is understandable. They're your entry-level kit lenses. Now the Sigma 16mm lens, it's giving very much built to last energy. And that's what we need as content creators, photographers, videographers. We need lenses that will withstand the test of time. We're not trying to buy a new lens every month. No, we're not. So of all the lenses out there, why am I so obsessed with the Sigma 16mm lens? Well, when you pair this lens with a crop sensor camera like the Sony ZV-E10 or the Canon M50, you get a really good field of view. It's wide enough to fit everything in the frame, but also not too wide where you get a lot of distortion, your face looks all wonky, and if you know, you know. I mainly use this lens for talking head videos like this, TikTok, B-rolls, vlogging, and low light situations. Speaking of which, one of my biggest issues with kit lenses, especially the one for the Sony ZV-E10, is that it doesn't do very well in low light environments. It doesn't. And when I first got the Sony ZV-E10, that was a major sticking point for me. It was almost another return to sender situation, okay? But the Sigma 16mm lens absolutely crushes it in low light situations. It's like night and day. That 1.4 aperture lets in so much more light to the camera, gives you cleaner, brighter, crispier footage without you having to crank up your ISO and introducing unnecessary noise. She delivers. Okay, now let's talk about image quality. That is another area where this lens absolutely delivers. It's far sharper than the kit lens, and that 1.4 aperture, that is what allows you to get that nice, dreamy, blurred background that helps your videos look more cinematic, elevated, and professional. Because these days with content creation, that's the name of the game. Quick side note, if you're shooting outdoors or in a really, really bright environment, I highly recommend looking into an ND filter. That is what I have here on the top of my lens. ND filters, as I'm sure you've heard, are pretty much like sunglasses for your lens, reducing the amount of sun and light that gets into your lens and overexposes your footage. And this is a variable ND filter, which means I can just kind of turn this around to reduce or increase the amount of light that gets let in.
Okay, so here's ooh, Jesus Christ. Gary, where you going? Had too much to drink today, Cameron? Okay, so here's a look at what my camera looks like without the ND filter. Overexposed much? Yes. So yeah, I could tweak the settings, but I want to keep my shutter speed at 50 since my frame rate is at 24. Don't ask me why, that's just the rules, okay? If I don't want to tweak my settings, that's when this ND filter comes into play. Let's throw her on and see what a difference she makes. Boom, just like magic. And I didn't have to touch my settings at all. She's a keeper. She's a keeper.
I love it because I don't have to touch the settings in order to reduce or increase the amount of light that's in my video. That means that I'm not sacrificing my beautiful background blur or the shutter speed in order to do that. Now let's get into autofocus, because what good is any lens if it's not keeping up with you? But no bueno. This lens handles autofocus so phenomenally. If you're vlogging and on the move, this lens is going to keep up with you. And if you're filming products, it smoothly shifts focus from you to the product and back to you without missing a beat. One important thing to note is that this lens does not have built-in stabilization. So if you're holding your camera, you may want to invest in a gimbal or learn how to hold your camera really steady so it's not shaking around all over the place. Now, is this Sigma 16mm lens worth your coins? Yes. It is worth every penny. Now, a new version of this lens retails for around $300 to $400. But you can find a used one for a little bit over $200. That's actually what I did. There are a ton of reputable camera companies that sell used lenses and camera bodies. I rarely ever buy new equipment. It ain't for me or my wallet, okay? So if you wanna buy a new, $300 to $400, a used one will run you about $200. I think that's a relatively fair price for the quality that you're getting with this Sigma 16mm lens. Like, it will completely change the look and feel of your content, especially if you're used to using a kit lens. This was honestly one of the best investments I've made in terms of gear in the past 2 years. I don't regret it, and I don't think you will either. All right, guys, today's video was a quick one. Thank you so much for joining today's quality time. I hope you guys found it useful. Until the next one, toodles.